virtuous deeds with body, speech, and mind. From now until this time tomorrow, I perform virtuous deeds with body, speech, and mind. We take refuge in the kind root Lama and lineage Lamas. We take refuge in the deities of the mandalas of the Yidams. We take refuge in all the exalted Buddhas. We take refuge in the perfect Dharma. We take refuge in the excellent order of the Sanghas. We take refuge in all the noble Dakas, Dakinis, and Dharma guardians, possessors of the eye of wisdom. Until I attain the heart of enlightenment, I take refuge in all the Buddhas. I take refuge in the Dharma and likewise in the assembly of the Bodhisattvas. As the previous Buddhas embraced the enlightened mind and progressed on the Bodhisattva's path, I too, for the benefit of all sentient beings, give birth to bodhicitta and apply myself to accomplish the stages of the path. In the Buddha, the Dharma, and Sangha most excellent, I take refuge until enlightenment is reached. By the merit of generosity and other good deeds, may I attain Buddhahood for the sake of all sentient beings. In the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha most excellent, I take refuge until enlightenment is reached. By the merit of generosity and other good deeds, may I attain Buddhahood for the sake of all sentient beings. Sanje chodang soki chonam la, shanshu bardu dagni kyapsu chi, dagi jinso jipe sonam ki, drola penchir sanje drupar sho. May all mother sentient beings, boundless as the sky, have happiness and the causes of happiness. May they be liberated from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they never be separated from the happiness that is free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from attachment and aversion. May all mother sentient beings, boundless as the sky, have happiness and the causes of happiness. May they be liberated from the suffering and the causes of suffering. May they never be separated from the happiness that is free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from attachment and aversion. Manam kadang nyampe semchen tamche dewa dam dewe yudan denpar yurchik. Dugdal dang dugdal jiyu dang drawa yurchik. Dugdal mepe dewa dami drawa yurchik. Nering shakdan nidang drawe tanyom sempai park nepar yurchik. I bow down respectfully with body, speech, and faithful mind to all the Tathagatas in the 10 directions, those who have already reached the Tathagata state, those who are reaching it at present, and those Tathagatas still to come. Through the power of Samantabhadra's prayer, may all Buddhas manifest visibly in my mind. I prostrate to them, multiplying my body as many times as there are atoms of the earth. In each atom, I visualize as many Buddhas as there are atoms surrounded by countless bodhisattvas. Thus, all space is filled with Buddhas and bodhisattvas. To all the Buddhas, I make offerings of various pure flowers, flower garlands of music, anointing oils, magnificent light, and fragrant incense. I make offerings to them of the fine garments, perfume, and potpourri piled high as Mount Meru and arranged in the most beautiful way. I confess to you, Buddhas, whatever negative actions I have committed due to the power of anger, desire, and ignorance. I rejoice in the merit of all the Buddhas in the 10 directions of the great Bodhisattvas and Partika Buddhas, those who have attained our hardships, those who have entered the path of our hardships, and all other beings. I request to all great protectors and Buddhas to turn the highest wheel of Dharma as the light dispelling the darkness of Buddhas in the 10 directions and leading them gradually to the enlightened state. Whatever merit I have,
I
supplicate those Buddhas intending to pass into paranirvana to live long for as many eons as there are atoms of the earth, in order to benefit all beings. Whatever merit I have gathered through prostrations, offerings, confession, rejoicing, beseeching, and praying, for the sake of the enlightenment of all sentient beings, all this I dedicate. The ground is sprinkled with scented water and strewn with flowers. It is adorned with Meru, the supreme mountain, the four continents, and the sun and moon. As a Buddha field I offer it. May all sentient beings attain the happiness of the Buddha field. To the lamas, To the lamas who possess the three kayas, I offer the outer, inner, and secret offerings. With my body, wealth, and all that is visible, please grant me the supreme realization, enlightenment. Whatever merit I have gathered from prostrations, offerings, confession, rejoicing, beseeching, and praying, for the sake of the enlightenment of all sentient beings, all this I dedicate. Om Guru Ratna Mandala Puja Mega Samudra Saparana Samaye Aho. Unequaled refuge, ornament of the world, your fame pervades 3,000 worlds. You are the victor, Vajradhara, without a doubt. I bow at the feet of the Father, Jinten Sungkun. Continually I think of no one but you. Compassionate one, grant your blessings. Dispel the darkness that surrounds my heart. Please bless me so that I can realize the unelaborated nature of life. The Dharma of the two vehicles and their combination according to the disposition and likewise the mental capacities of sentient beings. His wisdom is brilliant like the sun, free of the clouds of the two veils, and perceives the various types of knowledge in their true nature. For this reason, he holds the wisdom text at his heart. He has compassion for all beings who suffer from the darkness of ignorance in the prison of samsara, as a father for an only son. Like the thunderclap, he awakens those who are sleeping in ignorance and loosens the chains of karma through the 60 branches of harmonious speech. He wields the wisdom sword to cut the seedling of suffering and to dispel the darkness of confusion. In the bodhisattva form, he is pure from beginningless time, fully accomplished in the 10 levels, and perfect in the body of all knowledge. I supplicate you, Manjushri, adorned by the 112 signs of a Buddha, to dispel the darkness of my ignorance.
Rapasana Dioma, Rapasana Dioma, Rapasana Dioma, Rapasana Dioma, Rapasana Dioma, Rapasana
Dioma Rapasana Dioma Rapasana Dioma Rapasana Dioma Rapasana Dioma Rapasana Dioma Rapasana Dioma Rapasana Dioma Rapasana Dioma Rapasana
Rabazana de 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 Rabazana Rabazana de Rabazana de Rabazana de Rabazana Rabazana de Rabazana de Rabazana de Rabazana de Wangeshoramo 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 Wangeshoramo. Screen share go up, go down a minute. You who are the perfect, beautiful body,
whose flame of wisdom blazes and dispels the darkness of worldly ignorance, I prostrate before you and praise you, Manjushri.
We are going to do here. Yune gele jangwa bo yi ye do me ra de bar je de mo me zer wan jang bar yang la zang zer do dong ge do ye ja je re zhen rong yin je ma do de je bong jang ba zer je lam bo da bar je be ge xiao je jar be ja la ge zang zer dor je jang je de lo na ro dang mar ba ma lai je je gang bo ba pa mo je ba jar wa in de gong be ga je la ma nam lai zo ran de ro me je je yin je Hop down de zom zang je gen je ngo wo nye ran zhen je ge ngo zong dong ze da we la me ja la ge zang ze. Good morning, everyone. Can you hear or no? No. On the Zoom, can you hear? I already did.
No, we can hear on the Zoom. It's fine.
So can you hear in the Zoom, right?
Yes, loud and
Okay.
clear.
Wonderful. Yes, so now I'm going to share with you that today, continue the stage of meditation here, generation stage, then with this Vajrakilaya. So generation stage is for the deity, Yidam deity practice. So that's why, you know, when we're going to practice Vajrakilaya, so we have to know this generation stage. And teaching is generation stage, practice is Vajrakilaya. Okay, so the last week I shared like part of the why we have to practice the Yidam deity. So this deity, Yidam deity practice followed by ground, path, result, and three different levels. And then of course also on the path has a outer level practice, inner level practice, and the sacred level practice. Three different levels. The practice Yidam deity. So there's three different levels Yidam deity practice is depending individual, you know, due to the individual level capacity. Generally, we usually practice is outer level Yidam deity. Then who has this instruction generation stage, they can practice Yidam deity is inner level practice. And who has this Mahamudra teaching, then the practitioner can practice Yidam deity is a sacred level Yidam deity practice. So three different levels. This all in this teaching, you know, follow three of together. Sometimes like each sentence, the words is outer level, sometimes like comes inner level, sometimes it comes sacred level. These three different levels is due to the individual, because if you don't have generation stage teaching, you know, you don't know about the generation stage, then your practice is always outer level, because we, you know, think about the Buddha, enlightened beings. We are thinking about ourselves as ordinary being with supplication to enlightened beings, ask them to help, you know, remove our obstacle, blessing, and help us, you know, remove our negative karma. So that's all is outer level Yidam deity practice. Inner level who use this generation stage practice, so our this body essence, so last way we talked already, you know, wing, channel or this drop and the essence of the body is the source of the Yidam deity. So you use this all essence of the body and then create the causes of the enlightening form, body, enlightening speech, enlightening mind. Then also we use our afflictive emotion. So afflictive emotion use the causes of enlightening, wisdoms. So that's why 5 afflictive emotion is 5 wisdom transforming. 5 aggregates is transformed to the 5 Buddha. 5 elements is transformed to the 5 female Buddhas. So that, teaching, this practice is called inner level practice, generation stage, Vajrayana, teaching. Then sacred level teaching here, sharing, talk about, is always Mahamudra, talking about our own natural mind. So that practice, only practitioner, who has this Mahamudra teaching, you practice Mahamudra, then you understand is sacred level Yidam deity practice. Sacred level Yidam deity practice is our own natural mind is Yidam deity. So this your own natural mind is Buddha, no any other than that. So that's the highest level, sacred level practice Yidam deity. So 3 different levels we talked here. And then this Yidam deity practice, the main point, all the Yidam deity is the same, main point is this ordinary perception is we have to transform. We create a pure perception. So now we have this mundane, right? Mundane perception. So this universal, we attach fixation to our, universal, or this, where we live, the environment, we attach to that. So that's we have to transform to Buddha's pure line, meditate. Because in pure perception, attachment, fixation in pure object, then create the causes of samsara. So the attachment, desire, or fixation kept going, again rebirth, samsara. So you transform this impure perception is transformed to the pure percept. And we create, create a karmic imprint, pure perception. Then future life, even we are not enlightened, but we can take birth to the called the pure lanes, Buddha Amitabha pure lane. So the Buddha Amitabha pure lane is not enlightenment state, but not within the samsara. It's very safe place. As long as we reach to the pure lane, Buddha Amitabha pure lane, all the condition is 100%, spiritual conditions, enlightening conditions. So you have every opportunity, enlightenment. So that's why even we know enlightenment in this life, but take birth to Buddha Amitabha pure lane, future life, we have opportunity to then enlightenment, no need to come back to reborn again samsara. So that's why we created this, our pure perception practice Yidam deity. And that's the reason we have to transform this universal environment, transform to the Buddha's pure lane, visualize, meditate. And that's not only practice Yidam deity. When you're going to meditate, starting meditate, you just visualize where you meditating the practice, Yidam deity or whatever you practice in spiritual, you visualize your environment is pure light. And then second is home. So we are attached to our home, and due to that, also take birth again. So that's why we visualize, we live the home is visualize the Buddha's palace. So Buddha's palace is represented with the temple, and mandala, stupa is always represented with Buddha's palace. So that's why we gather in the temple, or where you live your home is when you're listening to teaching, when you engage in practicing, meditate, whatever you're doing, spiritual practice, you visualize your home is Buddha's palace. That's very important. So your home is transforming to enlightening, Buddha's palace. So that's remove your impure perception. Your holding is my home. My is self-grasping. My, home is attachment object. So due to that, we take birth again, because attachment is the causes of birth. That's why, even you fully like thinking about my home is Buddha's palace, but you just mentally create that moments, also very powerful, because you create like some spiritual karmic imprint connections to the Buddha's pure line. So that's why you're thinking about this is a home, this temple is Buddha Amitabha's pure line and the palace. So that moments you no longer holding my and my house. It's that moment you already transformed. So your home, impure home, is transformed to Buddha's palace. Then third is, inside the house we live. So inside the house we live like ourself is very strong, like I and the self, right? So I and the self is all this, like, the causes of birth. So that's why we visualize, enter the center of the palace. Center of the palace, we visualize, this or the throne, Buddha's throne. It's called lotus flower, sun dish, moon dish, or this, this visualize that transforming our, the birth karmic imprints. So coming is today, that section is, so I don't have to explain right now here. And then you visualize the top of the sun dish, moon dish, usually we visualize the syllable. Syllable is a representative of our conscious. So conscious is transforming to the Buddha's form body. See, this ordinary form is transformed to the Buddha's form and the enlightenment form. So that's, this generation stage, visualize, benefit is transforming. Okay, so if you have the actual book, and you can go to the, I think, so page 88.
Page
Correct.
92, Kempo.
Huh? Page 90?
92.
Oh,
The last paragraph. It is important to have an understanding.
Okay, so we talked last week, the giving rise to immeasurable deity palace, right? So then, so it is important to have, okay. So then visualize this, in the teaching, when you really practice meditative visualizing, it's not always the same, That's you have to know, because you sometimes we say book reading and your drawing experience sometimes is slightly different. So this book, of course, goes like very detailed. I mean, like you do this way, like stages. When you meditate, practice, it's you follow your own kind of experience. You feel like which way is like you get your something, your own idea or own experience is better way to receiving. Sometimes you follow the book, you pay so much, put effort, like try to exactly what in the book says. That sometimes too tight, and you block your energy too. You know, you don't really then receiving this the practice, the inner, I mean, the like kind of a more blessing or energy. Is you don't really feel that much because if your mind's too tight, because you follow the book, you know. So here last way we talked about the drum syllable. Drum syllable is transformed to, of course, like Yidam deity palace. Then which kind of drum, you know, characteristic, you know how to write, or you pay attention for that, then you lost, become, you know, practice, of course, connections too. So that's why in the book says it's correct, but when you meditate, doesn't matter which kind of drum syllable, just say drum, you know, like voice, that kind of some syllable in there, and that transform into your home. So you don't need to exactly, you know, Tibetan characteristic writing, too much focus on that, you lose your, I mean, the practice connections. So that's why the teaching book, if you pay too attention for that, your mind's too tight. You know, you need to relax and just mind more, how to say, the flexible, relax, and not so tightly, you know, followed by the book instruction. So follow by your own kind of like experience. You listen yourself, okay? So most important. Then here is most important to have an understand of the significance and the symbolism of the pure attributes depicted in the celestial palace. Okay, page 92 and the last part of paragraph. So this, when we study, of course, we have to know what meaning. So even, you know, you build the temple, they all has the meanings, shape, structures. And we build the stupa, that's followed by structure, everything. You know, each section has a meaning. That's why here says the significance and the symbolism of the pure attribute depicted in the celestial palace. This is known as recalling the purity. So that's the part of recalling purity, like the palace, deity's palace. However, beginners are not able to remember all this symbol-like meaning during one meditation section. We cannot remember. If you pay too much attention, all this part of the, you know, deity's palace, directions. So then talk about the 4 doors, you know, like each sections, you lost. So that's why when we study, of course, we have to know these things. But when you meditate, you don't have to follow all this one by one, okay? Just beginners are not able to remember all this symbol like meaning during one meditation section. So, so then what is most important is, this is why if you simply remember that all the quality of the immeasurable celestial palace of the deity arise a specific representation of the myriad inconceivable enlightening quality of purity and realization. This functions as sought. So that's the, you know, key point. We have to know all this enlightening, you know, quality is arise the form body. So, and the you know, this Yidam deity's palace, the temple stupa, they're all, you don't have to follow by one, you know, like knowing when you meditate, you don't have to pay attention each one's, just recognize whole thing is enlightening bodies, enlightening quality, just, Buddha's qualities arise from body. So keep that in the mind and meditate, then it's already enough. So this section is also, when you visualize Buddha's form body too. Today, let's talk about we visualize this Vajrakilaya form. Vajrakilaya is Rath for deity. Is in this form is Rath for deity, but arising this form is enlightening Buddha's enlightening qualities. Arise form body. So you just recognize its enlightening quality arise the form body. And knowing that and then meditate Vajrakilaya, form body, don't have to pay attention one by one, and then you receive the blessings. If you focus too much one by one, the one by one, like then why he has a fangs, why he under the feet has a corpse. So we have to know that symbolize the meaning. But when you meditate, you don't have to focus each one. Just instinctively visualize the deity's form and then meditate. Rest in mind. So that's this instruction of close caution. I think so, page. Okay, so these functions as a sort, okay, 94 of close caution or explanation of the quality of recollecting the purity. So that's the arising is deity's palace, and also Yidam deity's form body too. So recognize that, and then already enough. So in this today, this generation stage right now is sharing, of course, like detail how to visualize, meditate, and also giving more informations. When you meditate, and you don't have to follow by, each like details. Just pay generally, recognize and meditate is important. To summarize, as a secret, right? Secret expression of the self-appearing pure celestial palace of Buddha. We meditate on the mandala of the deity by bringing this on the path. We bring the pure lanes of all the Buddhas along the path. The way to do this is through the confidence of purity and perfection, the indivisibility of basic ground and result. So this section is, when we meditate, this enlightens Buddha's palace. So sometimes we call palace, sometimes we call the mandala. It's the same meaning. So then when you meditate this, it's on the path. So we create all this enlightening, karmic imprints, removing the, impure, mundane perceptions. So that's why this meditation, the purpose is. So then when you meditate this, through the confidence of purity and perfection. So we need the confidence. Sometimes like, might just imagine it, but not really true, right? If you don't thinking about it's true, then you don't have confidence. So that's why when you meditate and you need confidence, like what are visualizing is this place is Buddha's pure line, is we need confidence. The visualized deity's palaces, you must have to have confidence. It is deity's palace. And you visualize yourself also Yidam deity, you must have to have a confidence. So the confident is actually correct. I mean, the truth. The reason is because right now we have this impure perception. It is not truth, but due to our impure karmic imprints. So we're seeing all this impure. Same is like, someone gets disease or sickness, the white color or is seeing yellow color. What is that called sickness, disease name? Huh? Jaundice?
Jaundice. Yeah, jaundice.
Jaundice. Okay, so the seeing all white is yellow. So you tell them there's no yellow, it is white, but they're not going to accept that because they're seeing the yellow color. Why they see the yellow color? Because due to the disease. So same, this, why we have this impure? Because due to our disease, is samsaric impure karmic imprint is arise. So that's why we're seeing all this is impure. So when you recover your, what is called the disease, jadis, or recover that illness, then you don't see the yellow color, you see the white color. So same, like long as you purify this impure karmic imprints, this is a pure land. So pure land is not any other than actually right now where we're sitting. This is a pure place, but we don't recognize, we don't see because due to our impure perceptions. So that's why, our meditation is truth, correct. But we don't have confidence. Reason is because we're not really knowing truth. So that's why when you meditate, you need confidence. And then also coming here, talk about divine pride, practice Yidam deity. We meditate ourselves is Yidam deity. We need confidence and divine pride. So that meditation is truth because we are truly Buddha, But due to obstacles, we don't know that, we don't recognize. We have due to this our obstacles, we fear we are ordinary being. We don't recognize, we are Buddha, but truly we are Buddha. So you meditate yourself is Buddha as truth. Okay, so that's why we need confidence, purity, and perfection. That is indivisibility of basic ground and the result. So then, long as you knowing right now this impure is pure, then impure is right now is called ground. Result is pure, but when you meditate, this impure is visualized, meditated, pure. So ground, result is bring together, inseparable. So not separate. Do you understand? That's very important, but harder to understand another level. The ground result is actually one. Because this ground right now impure, you meditate is pure, so the ground is transformed to the pure result. So that's why, and perfection, the indivisibility of a basic ground and the result, inseparable. In this case, usually, of course, the ground result is separate. The auto level practice is separate. The ground and the result is separate. The ground is impure, result is pure. Ground is ordinary being, result is a Buddha, separate. But this is the inner level practice. So that's why the ground result is inseparable means right now our ordinary, this person grown, right? This ordinary person, it itself is Buddha. So it's ordinary, this person is no other than Buddha. Buddha is no other than this ordinary person. So that means like you grown and the result bring together. Do you understand? Okay. Then, for For the second aspect of development stage practice, meditating on the form of the deity. So now we have to meditate, visualize the Yidam deity. So we have already visualized in pure universal is transformed to the Buddha's pure line, and the palace where we live home is transformed to the Yidam deity's home. So now we have to transform. Most important, ourselves is have to transform. So that's why aspect of development stage practice, meditation on the form of the deity. So we have to visualize the deity. We begin by giving rise to the deity's seat. Okay, so now we have a home, palace. In the palace is empty, right? So center of the palace, we have to visualize this seat. Deity's seat. Here we are purified the conceptual grasping and clinging, or rather the habitual tendencies of sentient beings to abide in and taking birth from a mother's lotus through the sperm and ovum, heat and moisture and so forth. So why we have to visualize this, the Buddha's seat, enlightened being seat in the center of a palace. This purification, so it's called purification, purify birth karmic imprints. You know, we have a universal, we have a palace, home, and then parents, and our consciousness go into parents, you know, like mother's womb, take birth again, right? So that's why we have to transform this all birth karmic imprints. That's why we need to visualize the seed. So seed is, that's why here says we are purifying the conceptual grasping and the clinging, because this Pardo being is like conscious. You know, when we die, you know, like we are minds be in the Pardo 49 days, right? So during that time, these Pardo beings, very strong fixation, grasping, clinging to looking to take the birth. Rather than the habitual tendencies of sentient beings to abide in the taking birth from a mother. So then in the Pardo teaching we taught, we use this practice, block the mother's womb, and you don't take the birth. You know, you don't take the birth, you meditate, and you recognize hold your conscious, relax, practice and meditate, call the Yidam deities. You immediately, you know, take birth to the pure lands, not going to take samsara in birth, right? So that's why this practice, the reason is a seed, also purification birth. So through the sperm and ovum, heat and moisture and so forth, see, this taking birth has a difference, 4 different ways to take birth in within samsara. What is that? Okay. So we take the 4 different ways of birth. Is sperm and ovum is, I think, is us, right? And then heat and moisture, I think many bugs, beings come from that. We know, so like summer, spring, so many bugs, beings come, and so forth. See, then of course egg birth, and miraculously birth. So that's called 4 different birth. The some deity practice a long sadhana. Each this has purification separate for birth. You know, like one practice is for specifically for the warm birth purification. One practice is specifically practice for egg birth, moisture birth, miraculous birth. So this one is just like helps for generally together. You know, you use this practice like below all these 4 different birth. Short sadhana, Yidam deity practice is just one meditation is, you know, purpose for 4 of them together, not separate. So that's why here says, you know, the result of purification is the Nirmanakaya or emanation body form of the Buddha. So you block the womb, birth, and then you instinctively become Nirmanakaya form. So think about it, we have this Yidam, the Pardo teaching, death Pardo. When death Pardo, if you meditate, true nature mind during in the death Pardo, you are liberate Dharmakaya. During the death, you're already liberating. Yeah, that's who can have that ability, because Mahamudra meditator, Dzogchen meditator can have that ability, right? We talked already that teaching. The second, then, reality Pardo, or the appearances arise. So all this appearance is transformed to the Buddha's form body. Who can have that ability, who meditated this generation stage, who usually practice Yidam deities. So they're called the liberation to the Sambhogakaya form. So that's why we talked, peaceful deities, wrathful deities in the Pardo teaching. Do you remember? Okay, so that's that level. Then within 49 days, still this meditator practitioner, if not liberate Dharmakaya, not liberate Sambhogakaya, some people has these teachings, the connections, who knows block this worm, and that person can be liberate Nirmanakaya. So Nirmanakaya is you take birth to pure lines, not go into the 6 realms, within 6 realms. So you are free from 6 realms. You take birth somewhere in the higher, beyond the samsara. So Nirmanakaya means you take form body there, right? So that's why it's Nirmanakaya. Here is form, whatever form of the Buddha, Nirmanakaya or emanation body form of the Buddha. This emanation body arises in whatever form and whatever way is necessary to charm beings, but without being solid by the 4 ways of taking birth. So the person can, some meditator, depending, this one is very short information. So not everyone Nirmanakaya enlightenment, right? But some, go to higher realms. So I told you, not samsara taking birth. You can take birth to Devachin, Pure Line, Sukhavati, and other Pure Line, 5 different directions has 5 Pure Lines. Because this 5 Pure Line, we already talked, is also, we have 5 aggregates. So which aggregates is strongly arise, the Buddha. So you take that pure line, say 5 aggregates is 5 Buddha, right? And the 5 elements is 5 female Buddha. So we have that, all this ability, opportunity to this 5 pure line. You can take birth either one. So actually same is you accomplish 5 of them together. Doesn't matter which part of you take, example, one country has a 5 state, and the 5 state has a slightly different, some is more farmer, some is more business, right? Different kind of slightly different, resource. But long as you reach to the country, doesn't matter which state, you can go this 5 state. You can get resource everywhere, you can move everywhere. The same idea, similar. So you can reach to these pure lines, or you meditate, even you didn't realize the first state in the death Pardo, reality Pardo. In this, Pardo of birth, you realize, block the warm body. Also, you enlighten the Nirmanakaya form too. So in this case, many diversity, different levels achievement. not only one there, so some can take birth to the pure lanes, some can enlightened, and then they can choose the birth. So some this practitioner meditator can block the one birth, they use this practice, and then they can choose the birth. So because usually our taking birth is chosen by our afflictive emotions and karma. We don't have a choose. And then this meditator practitioner, they have their own choose. So then they can choose the birth, and then they look to where they're going to take birth, they benefit others more, they can choose like right place, like when we share the teaching about, spiritual place, spiritual birth. So, they can choose. So that's why here says, see, they use these activities and benefit others without, being solicited by the 4 ways of taking birth. 4 ways is taking birth are the birth from a womb, birth from an egg, birth from heat and moisture, and miraculously birth. So that's 4 ways of birth. And then this bodhisattva, actually this, who take birth to go to 6 realms, it's become bodhisattva because they're not go to the pure line, but they're, I think, going to, 6 realms to benefit others. If they do that, but there for them is like, here says, body arise, whatever form and whatever necessary to some beings, but without being solid by solid by means, I think, solid, dirty, so not dirty. So, this bodhisattva take birth to samsara. Samsara is dirty, but for them, not dirty. That's why same is a lotus flower. Lotus flower is grow in the mud. It's the same as a samsara. But lotus flower itself is pure. This dirty never affected to the lotus flower. The lotus flower is grow in the dirty mud, right? So same bodhisattvas like practice growing within in the samsara. So they take birth in samsara, benefit others, and for them free from these obstacles. So that's the representative here. Inherent pure form, since awakening mind is inherently pure, the form is a clear light, and the automatic wisdom of the union of skillful means and wisdom. So this bodhisattva is mind is very clear, and then they use these two techniques. What is true is like method and wisdom together. So method is compassion, wisdom is like, of course, knowing truth. So they have these 2 things together, and that's why in the take birth in samsara, negative is not affected for them. They are pure, mind is always pure. So that's the this the reason is we visualize the seat. So no visualize the seat. The why benefit is we already that section, right? We talked. No, here is the how to visualize the agent of purification is the actual part. So if both is the 96, if you have both, it's 96. So then is the actual part whereby we visualize that in the center of this immeasurable deity palace is a lotus flower. So we visualize the lotus flower. Lotus flower is representative mother's womb. So, when you meditate Yidam deities, like you look to Buddha's statue, you always have a lotus flower top there. There come from pure, no samsaric afflictive emotions. That's why lotus is always in the seat. So they're not taking birth the same as like our ordinary beings. Ordinary beings take birth because attached to womb. And this Buddha's mind is pure. So even they come to in the samsara, but to see compassion, wisdom together. So the mind is pure. We visualize the lotus flower is this mother's womb is called impure, is purified to the pure perception is lotus flower. Lotus flower. A top, which is the mandala of the sun, red in color. So the red color sun is representative of Father's essence. Top that is the mandala of the full moon, which is the white in color. I think sun is mother's essence, moon is father's essence. I think so. So anyway, these two is representative of parents' essence. That's why we visualize the sun and the moon. Actually, this Buddha seat has a sun and the moon, but you cannot see because he's sitting to the sun and the moon, and so that's why. Okay, so we visualize the top of the the lotus flower top that we visualize this, and then these are sticking one at top, the other evenly position in the center of the lotus. So center of the lotus, we have sun and moon. The central deity and the deities in the retinue are visualized seated on their own seats, respectively. So this, central deity and the deities, this noise is going on again. Okay, so so the center deity and the deity in the retinue are visualized seated on their own seats, respectively. So then central Yidam deity is called main Buddha, and other is called retinue. So usually the seat also different layers. The center Buddha always has 5 layers, okay? And the Bodhisattva, sometimes like 3 layers or 1 layers, and the retinues. So that's why this is the, we have to know, but when you meditate, visualize, you don't have to focus on, oh, he has 3, he has 5, why he has 5, why he don't have 5, he has 3. So then it's already conceptual mind, So sometimes we human beings, wanted to become everything's equal equanimity, yeah. Why he has 3, why he don't have 2? So that kind of, you can create a conceptual mind. That also incorrect. So then here, deity in the retinue are visualized seated on their own seats respectively in the causes of the Maya Jiva Tantra. So this is the Maya Jiva Tantra is what I explain is here is the principal deity of the 5 Buddha family are seated on top of animals. So usually the Buddha's throne has animals, lions, elephants, and what is crone, right? Crone. The not peacock, another something, crone. Crane, I see. So that's different kind of animals. So this all has a symbolized meanings. Not the like to make torture animals, okay? So sometimes people like seeing form is their misunderstand, right? Conceptual. So the lion means like king of the animals. So when lion makes song, all the animal is scared and feel like laid down. So usually they say that, but I don't know, okay? And that's a long time ago, ancient, these books like all talk about that. Lying has power. And same, like Buddha is a supreme being, all the beings. Yeah, we have refuge ceremony that talk about two like beings, supreme being of two like beings, I think, who use two legs, and the supreme being is the Buddha. So that's why lion seeds is also representative, and also Buddha has 4 fearless. So fearless, that's why representative lion. The elephant carry many heavy things. So this enlightened Bodhisattva beings, like, how to say that their job is like very heavy, like liberating all these beings. They're not thinking about their own, for benefit for others. So that's why lion, elephant. So this each animal has symbolized meanings. Okay, so that's why here says principal deity of the 5 Buddha families are seated on top of animals, jewel thrones. So then animal jewel thrones, and then lotus, sun, and moon is become 5. Sun, moon, and lotus seeds. See, so their seeds are 5 layers, stick one at top the other. The Bodhisattva are seated atop sun, moon, and the lotus seeds. So their seeds are 3 layers. Bodhisattva has 3 layers. The 6 Buddhas corresponding to the 6 realms are seated only on lotus seeds. 6 Bodhisattva, actually 6 Buddha, that we have in the peaceful Yidam deity, the Chateau Yidam deity, like we talked to Pardo. So these 6 Buddhas, these 6 Buddha, because go to 6 realms and only use lotus seeds. They take, why lotus seeds? They're pure, and taking birth to 6 realms, but it's pure. So that's why I think only lotus seeds. So there seeds, the 6 Buddhas corresponding to the 6 realms are seated only the lotus seeds. The wrathful gatekeepers are seated only on sun disk. Wrathful deity, gatekeeper has a sun disk. These are just a few examples. Each deity practice will have its own specific visualization, all in the text. So this is a general teaching. Then we go to specific teaching. Each deity has slightly different symbolized meanings. Today we're talking about Vajrakilaya. So Vajrakilaya, is wrathful deity. Then his how to say, the recollection of purity is different than peaceful Yidam deity. Last week I shared already with you, this peaceful deity is arising all the enlightening qualities. So what is a quality? Talk about peace, right? Peace is enlightening quality. So that symbolizes Yidam deity is a white color, see, kind of a white, peaceful face, and compassion. So that's why, Chinrez that we talked like last week has the holding this wish fulfilling jewel. The wish fulfilling jewel is like compassion, bodhicitta. And so we talked about white Tara. We have a Tanka white Tara in there. So white Tara takes 7 eyes, representing wisdom, compassion, all this is enlightening qualities. A rice form is a peaceful deity. And then another hand, talk about Vajrakilaya. Vajrakilaya is today we're going to practice wrathful deity. Wrathful deity is, why you have a peaceful? Because you remove something, right? What you remove? Huh? Anger, yeah, can be anger, right? So you remove anger, that symbolizes Vajrakilaya is wrathful. if he still have hold the anger, then he cannot show this wrathful face. Right? Wrathful face means like anger is already gone. So then Vajrakilaya has so many these heads, union, the Yab and the Yom, because attachment is gone. Subdued attachment, subdued anger, subdued ignorance. That's why things, right? Fires. So this all is subdued already negative things, purified. So that's arise form is called wrathful deity. When we have become Buddha, we must have to arise two forms, peaceful and wrathful. Otherwise, we cannot become Buddha. Right? So when we become Buddha, we subdued our anger. We have to subdue our attachment. We have to subdue our ignorance. So then this form is showing the wrathful deity, Yabyom, subdued attachment. Attachment is not exist. Gone. So that symbolizes is Yab and Yom. And then wrathful, because anger is gone. And so wrathful is already gone, all the negative things no exist. Then another level, long as you are reached to the enlightened, anger, attachment, ignoring, they are no negative. They are no negative. They are causes of wisdoms. They already arise wisdoms. So that's why we talk about 5 afflictive emotions transformed to the 5 wisdom, right? So that's the reason. Right now we are in the samsara, ordinary being. This 5 afflictive emotions a problem, right? And 5 afflictive emotions are negative. But long as you reach to that level, enlightened, 5 afflictive emotions are not negative. So that's why this showing, symbolize the form body. It's called wrathful deity's form. So we have to know all this aspect, it's coming more teaching, maybe, following weeks. So this teaching, I'm going to, not go too fast. When we get time, we're going to share again, next week I have this shamatha practice meditations. So we go to same this book. We have shamatha vipassana teachings, and we practice shamatha and meditate. But then today we cannot finish this generation stage. Another week, so of course, go back to again followings. We continue this practice because shamatha, this Yidam deity, in this generation stage, vipassana, this all have to bring together inseparably. When you visualize this Yidam deity without shamatha, you cannot visualize very clearly. So your mind is not stable. Shamatha needed there. And when you visualize the Yidam deity, you need vipassana there. We have to know this Yidam deity essence, and our essence is the same, is Buddha. Same nature. So that's why sometimes we think this all teaching is totally separate, right? And we today we practice a generation Yidam deity practice, but we cannot go back to shamatha. Something wrong there. You thinking about you are already college student. You're going back to like maybe kindergarten. So you feel like that. Some people feelings. That's already incorrect. Okay. And worldly samsara, that is same. We eaters, like we already graduate university, college. You don't have to go back to kindergarten. So, you get ashamed, like shy, you go back to kindergarten school. So you not suited for that too, right? But in this practice, like everything is bring together. You cannot, leave one there. So we need this four thoughts meditation, they're together, So this all practice is same as the transportation, like car example. The car need 4 tires. Car need engine. Car need this roof, everything, right? Protections. Car need so many this everything, part of everything. Otherwise, you missing something, you get it's distraction or problems. You can't go. So you cannot really pick up this is one is important, not others. All this part, everything is important. That's why everything is there. So same, we need for thought meditation, we need love and compassion in there. We need vipassana shamatha is in there. We need yidam, that is, this meditation practices in there together. Then your practice has everything quality, essence. When you cook the food, so you need a gas, you need pot, right? You need water. So you need all this food, different kind of food put together. Then you get, delicious food. Otherwise, one vegetable, you cannot have everything, all this food is everything quality. I mean, the one vegetable, then without gas, you cannot cook. So that's why the practice actually in this generation stage has everything. All these stages we have to bring together when we meditate practice. They share the teaching, then you cannot do all together, So you have to follow one by one instructions. When you cook the food, you have to cut vegetables one by one, right? You cannot do everything is like one time, how to say, like simultaneously, or you cannot do, right? Simultaneously everything together. So you do like one by one. And then when you eat, you don't eat separate. You eat all is together. So same, when you meditate, practice, then you have to bring all this together. No, cannot go separate. If you go separate, then your practice lost some essence there. So that's why you have to know. No, is in this seat is like teaching, but when you meditate, you don't have to pay so much attention for the seat, okay? Otherwise, you lose the main focus too. Then these are just a few examples. Each practice will have own specific visualization or line in the text. So here are some examples. See, the pure symbolism of the seeds as follows. These books are wrote, but I forget what I have here. See, follows a line supported throne represent the 4 levels of fearlessness. So 4 levels of fearlessness. The Buddha has four fearless quality, and that's why it's a lying throne. Is on elephant supported throne represent the 10 enlightening powers. A horse supported throne represent the 4 legs of magical powers. A peacock supported throne represent the 10 magnetizing powers. A crane, crane supported throne represent taming sentient beings with the 4 enlightening activities. So these are the Buddha's qualities, enlightening being quality. So that's why in this animal seeds is only the Buddha seed has. You cannot see the Bodhisattva's seed has this animal, this seeds. So when we make the statue, tangas, you can see always the center Buddha king has, but other retinue they don't put. Then of course, like Buddha or has, but other like retinal didn't have. That's the reason is like enlightened one has, Buddha has. So this is followed by just a tradition way, okay? Tradition way. Then then this is good for the like who make the statues, who draw the tanka. They have to know how to follow the instruction, right? But we also know, yeah, Buddha needed this like other. But then when you visualize, meditate, practice time, you don't need to focus like he has, he don't have, okay? So same. Then go to the next one. The sun and the moon together represent indivisibility of skillful means and wisdom. So it's sun, moon is like the point is wisdom and skillful, bodhicitta or compassion. Skillful is like method. So this book is subsumed to these two categories. Two categories like what I share is like first part is called, we have four thoughts meditation, law meditation, compassion, bodhicitta. That all is a skillful part. And then vipassana, shamatha, this is generation stage, completion stage. The last four chapter is called this last four chapter is last four chapter is the wisdom chapter. So this then have to go bring together, not separate. So that's the also here is like sun and the moon is representative skillful and wisdom. And then another level, Vajrayana tradition, female is representative wisdom, me is representative for method. So that's why also the Vajrayana, we have this Yidam deity, Vajrakilaya today. Vajrakilaya itself is representative method. Is his concert, Yom is representative wisdom. So wisdom method is together is called enlightened. Cannot be separate. So that's the reason here. The lotus represented being unsullied by the faults. So the jiva throne represents the fourth feeling, the hope and the wish of beings. So that's the jivas, and enlightened being seat has jivas, and sometimes in the tankas front there's like some three jivas you can see. Similarly, the seats of wrathful deities represent destroying or vanquishing ignorance, dualistic, grasping, karma, emotional, poisons, the four maras, and so on. These are explained in more detail in the practice text for each deity. Okay, wrathful deity symbolize is different. The seat is, they don't have moon disk, wrathful, because it's, moon disk is representative, is peaceful. Wrathful has to see this corpse. Corpse is, subdued our five, the four maras, not five, four maras. So mara of form body, mara of afflictive emotion, mara of the desire, actually, mara of like the mara of son of gods. Son of gods, but the point is like son of God means like you attach to temporary pleasures. The kids like attached to temporary pleasures. So son of gods means kings, like we think about kings, like the rich, like very high. Some people's kids like only enjoyment, like this pleasure things. They don't worry anything other, like So that's why like some samsaric beings, due to ignorance, we attach to very temporary enjoyment, what is called the pleasant, right? Temporary something. So that's why Son of God means God's realm is like always joy. And I think the kids are at touch or joy, really temporary, pleasant, desire things. So that's also the Mara. Then Mara of death, of course, Mara of death. So Mara of form body is the, like we attach to our body. Not only this body, long as you take birth in samsara, we always have form body. Even Pardo beings attached to the form body, they don't have physical form, but they have mental form body. So they're, due to the mental form body, they attach to their own form, fixation, grasping. And that's called Mara of form body. That's the reason, when we talked like giving Dharma teaching to the Pardo beings, instruction is you don't need fear, you don't need scared, because you don't have physical form. No one going to destroy you, right? No one can carry you. You don't have to fear, you don't have to scared. But they fear, they're scared because they think they have form body. It's called mental form body. Mental form body is like same is like right now my form is I have this form is in the my Pardo. Because even this form is already gone, but the same is like you have a dreaming, right? In the dream, you have exactly right now you carry your whole your body in the dream. So in the dream, like thunderstorm or hurricane, tornadoes, earthquake, whatever comes, you have very strong fears, and you think like you're going to die. So you're protecting that right now in this form, right? When right now we're waking up, right? This form exactly we have in the dream. So same, Pardo being has this exactly this form body. The has. So that is like called the Mara of form body. And the Mara of afflictive emotion, because 5 afflictive emotions Mara. Mara means like they hold us in the samsara. So the causes of samsara, causes of suffering. Then Mara of like Son of God is like our temporary desires, temporary enjoyment. We attach to that. We happy that. We don't knowing what happening. Example, right now here's good weather. We enjoy here, but like in Ohio we have a tornado. Like this weather is a change evening. Like going to hall is can be gone like this. This hall can be gone, but we not knowing. So we just only like happy in right now what we have, right? Good weather and it's good condition here. We enjoying this. So that's a core, knowing what happened. So that's a core Mara of sun gods, or then ignorance. Long as you have that, then we take birth, die. So called Mara of death. This the Vajrakilaya under his feet, hops. He destroy already this 4 Maras. It's called conqueror, victors, victories, right? Victories. He's victories. So that's why it's not killing beings, but already cure the causes of suffering. Destroyed already. So that's the wrath for deity has different, this symbolized meanings. Then we go to what time is? Okay, still we have time. The second stage of actually giving rise to deity in the mandala is explained in accordance with the threefold Vajra method, referring again to the 4 ways of taking birth. Now we have to meditate, Yidam deity. So you have seat in the center of the, palace. We know why we have to sit is there and what benefit, and we already talked everything. So representative also. So now we visualize Yidam deity. When we visualize the Yidam deity and the threefold Vajra method. So threefold is so here is coming is we visualize the lotus and I think threefold is so threefold is what is threefolds? Some is very simple way, but maybe complicated. Okay. So it's here is coming explain one by one, okay? Threefold. Referring again to the 4 ways of taking birth. So we go back to again, 4 ways birth from the first perspective of purifying birth from womb. So we birth from womb. This is like specifically we're going to talk. The object of purification is the process of the consciousness in the bardo entering into the center of the father's sperm and the mother's womb and gradually forming a body inside the mother's womb in concert with this seed of the sun, this is the ovum of the mother. The moon, this seed is the sperm of the father. Moon is the father. See, the samadhi of the casual seed syllable, in which the seed syllable descend and take its place on the deity's seat. So that's a syllable. Usually we visualize, moon, this top there, we visualize the syllable. So each deity has a syllable. Tara has a thumb syllable. Amitabha Buddha has a red color syllable. Some has a white syllable, Hong, blue Hong syllable. So all this deity has own syllables. So syllable is the actually representative of the Buddha. It's a color also followed by the syllable same, Syllable color is red, then Buddha's color is red. Syllable color is white, then Buddha's color is red, white. So that's why white thumb syllable, right? It's white Tara. Green thumb syllable is called green Tara. And white syllable is Chinrezek. Blue Hong is Vajrapane. On Wangi Shor Mom, I think it's a mom syllable, mom, the golden mom syllable is Manjushri. So that's the followed by the deity's syllable is transforming. We visualize the syllable is actually, our consciousness. So now going to be practice Vajrakilaya on Vajrakilaya Sarvambengani Pam Hong Pek. Vajrakilaya syllables, I think it's Hong, blue Hong. So blue Hong we visualize. So top of the sun's this blue Hong. So this blue Hong actually our conscious. So then this blue Hong is transformed to the Vajrakilaya form, means this our bodies become transformed to the Vajrakilaya form. So that means like we practice Vajrakilaya. So you meditate the white thumb syllable, and then white thumb syllable is transformed to the white Tara, means your practice is Tara. So this is all followed by different sadhana, and each deity has a syllable. So that syllable is transformed to the Buddha means like syllable is representative of our own conscious. So the conscious is transforming to the Buddha's form. Okay, so the point is, in the mother's essence, father essence come together, then the Pardo's conscious going into that, join there, then take birth samsara. So now you block that warm birth, and you have this meditate like, lotus flower, sun dress, moon dress, and then top the syllable is transformed to the, like your form is enlightenment. So enlightened form body. So it's called the, purification for birth. So that's why here is like three is the point is three is here is like mother's womb, and then it's lotus, the first one. Second is the sun disk, moon disk is second, and the third is the syllable. So this three what I think talk about the threefold Vajra method means. Then so here says, okay, where we are in the taking birth from the perspective of purifying birth from a womb. The object of purification is the process of the consciousness in the Pardo entering into the center of the father's sperm and the mother's ovum, and gradually forming a body inside the mother's womb. In concert with this, the seat of the sun disk is the womb, ovum of the mother. The moon disk seat is the sperm of the father. The samadhi of the casual seed syllable, in which the seed syllable descend and take its place on the deity's seat. So it meant to purify the fruit pride, right? Period during which the Pardo being's consciousness enter into the womb of mother upon the meaning of the red and white essence. And then the body develops in the bionic and the fetal period. When the seed syllable transforms into the hand implement of whatever deity you are practicing. So this purifies the process of the consciousness enter into the merging of the white and the red essence, so parents' essence, and the mind merging with them. So the purify that, birth karma, karmic imprints. So we visualize this, it's created right now, pure perceptions. So this meditation helps in the Pardo. Our conscious not going to take to the birth in the mother's womb, I mean the samsara. So that's the point. So now we visualize this syllable. When we visualize the syllable emanating, we visualize, the top of the sun disk, we visualize the syllable like that is. This also when Yidam deity practice has, each deity practice has, like that is. Emanating and reabsorbing like that. This purify the process of the embryo forming in the mother's womb and the gradually development of the body. So the like that is purification. So usually, see, we like that is, go to 6 rounds, right? And mantra galing, the, Om Mani Padme Hum example, Shi is the center. The other 6 syllables rotating clockwise. So this clockwise rotating and the syllable our heart center, like that is offering to enlightened beings. We create accumulation merit. And also the like that is coming big, dissolving blessing to us. And the like that is go to 6 realms, purify, 6 realms karma and negative things, purification. So that's during the mantra, right? And in here also the not only mantra galing. So when you visualize lotus, seed, sun, this, moon, this, right? Then this syllable top there, syllable like that is before the syllable is transformed into the Buddha's form. So syllable like that it is like purification actually, when we are in the mother's womb, like graduating, right? And how to say the like become bigger or growing in the mother's womb. So that kind of karma is a purifying, gradually development of the body. Sense faculties, and the constitutional element by the working of the 4 elements. So this all purifying. When the 6 syllable completely transform into the deity's body, so then transform to the Buddha's body. This purify the habitual imprints of the sentient being's body as it is fully formed and developed in the womb and become ready to the born. So the ready to born, so that karma is purifying. Through giving rise to deity in this way, so you take birth to Buddha's form, the syllables transform to Buddha means like take birth. And all sentient beings taking birth, karma is purifying. And so we visualize the syllable, and the syllable is transformed to the Buddha's form. So that is like, purification, our birth karma. Transform into the deity's body. This purifies the habitual imprint of a sentient being's body as it is fully formed and developed in the womb and becomes ready to be born. Through giving rise to the deity in this way, the habitual patterns of the other modes of taking birth are purified at the same time implicitly. Implicitly, right? So, this is like, right now we're talking is, womb birth, right? So you use this method practice, actually also purify all other birth too. Taking birth, see, the talk about the harems, miracle birth, because they don't need parents. And, due to karma, they fight each other, and someone torture, they die. Moment they say, like born, song is arising, they're born. Then they fight, they die, and they're born again. So that's called miracle birth. In the harems, beings miracle birth. The many animals, the moisture birth, and then of course egg birth, right? Warm birth, all has in the animal realms, and the human beings, or is a warm birth, but some can be miracle birth too. So, Pema Sambhava, we talked like miracle birth, and there's some special beings also have a miracle birth too. But generally, human beings warm birth. And then another, like others, I don't know, like mostly beings. So just like 6 realms, within these 6 realms, the 4 different ways of birth. So the samsara lowest is like harem beings, they are miracle birth, but also within samsara highest beings also miracle birth. So the most beings then this between, right? Okay. So that's the birth, we purifying karma. So now we leave it there today, and then other is very important sections. like we visualize the Yidam deity. So visualize the Yidam deity. Three important is coming. Three important is, like visualize very clearly. And when we visualize the Yidam deity, and then we have to know the recollection of purity. So we already talked a little bit, the recollection of purity is more coming. And then also, when you meditate practice, we must have to have a confidence called divine pride. So otherwise, your meditation practice is like, you don't trust, then no essence. So, what it is, you're going back to what it is, actually, meditation is. You have that confidence. So, example, like ice is water, right? So you have to confident ice is water. So it is true, right? And so that's why you try to murder the ice, water. You don't have confidence this flavor is a water. So you not try to like use heat, like hang warm and murder to the water. This is wrong. So it's called not possible. This nature true is not water. Okay. So ice you use your hand, try to merge to the water, that is correct. Example, like think about like you get really harsh like and frozen weather place, and you have a kids, you wanted to give water for the kids, they cannot ice put in the mouth. So then you try to ice put in the merge the water to give it to the kids, right? So you have that confidence. Same, this meditation when we do is we have to have confidence because we're going back to true reality. And right now what we have, it is called faith, not truth. It's due to this, I told you the disease, like joint disease, bring everything is white, is a yellow color. So yellow is a fake. Temporarily we say white is truth. So, so that's why, we have to recover the person's awareness. Same, we have to recover our awareness, and this impure perception is going back to pure. So that's why we knowing truth, and we must have to have confidence. Okay. So now we go to this Vajrakilaya sadhana. Vajrakilaya sadhana today, this is going to practice Vajrakilaya is called Rina Limbas today your sadhana. So okay, so I can do the long transmission. So first I do the long, then supplication to the lineage of Vajrakilaya. Om Sote Jin Longyang Jabda Jingane Bardin Kenda Zambola Sowanda Kada Chica Tobar Sinjelo Tomba Dorje Sambala Sowanda Lendo Longa Tobar Sinjelo Sanda Sana Dorjela Sowanda Kanda Tuka Tobar Sinjelo Gelong Tamita Bala Sowanda Sendang Renzeng Tobar Sinjelo Chija Indam Bodala Sowanda Tempa Kachin Pabar Sinjelo Renzeng Roland Devala Sowanda Sechi Sanje Tobar Sinjelo Dana Samtala Sowanda Sanga Sadun Tobar Sinjelo Orjipe Manjunela Sowanda Nodon Somin Jomar Sinjelo Kando Yishin Sojala Sowanda Mola Sadun Tobar Sinjelo Tose Jiman Tongala Sowanda Jali Dorje Tobar Sinjelo Goro Renal Bala Sowanda Doji Go Chubar Sinjelo Tichi Sava Lamala Sowanda Elora Yan Tomar Yidam Purple Hala Sowanda Ngodon Namin Jomar Sinjelo Chijon Puson Sola Sowanda Sana Parche Savar Sinjelo Kaju Lame Sinjelo Dozo Yidam La Yungodoza Dozo Chijon Kazon Parche Sardozo Duban Taro Chevar Sinjelo Kosong Ondon Jawar Sinjelo Dunyan Tara Simbar Sinjelo Namo Konjo Yidam La Jawa Janse Sojela Dada Ndoa Sinjena Kosong Kube Jasa Jimada Kendo Kenda Sese Tele Pepe Jingo Gowa Dongni Trupa Sere Semi Jere Semji Do Hong Ra Yinam Ranjin and Doja Chimbola, get a lopan de Mayame, the Diane Savara Dopen, some Jing Ranjin Lanjo, the Chakada, Yanalinjala, Chatajas and Semarasato, Jamarizon and Trizena, Razona, Samaya, Donirazon the Donirazon and Daughters and George, is a driver Marachimo, Nazajima, Balinda, Nazan Zemijin, Home Benza, Pipe. Dipe aloge shabda hong dan wen bo na zo ya ye gan de na do zon bar we jin kon na tu je je ko we yi shi me bon bar wa long Rana yi shi le do be ya ye kan me pe ma dan ni da de jen no we den te na hong ko ton de le da ni ma ji zo bo ko bar jin do ji jo na je de na ya zon sa do ba sha je je do da de ye ka ro yu ma ro wen ting na ring we jin tu zo hong ji ga da me so je ze ja dan ja ne che wa se ya sa ni ye ni这个生啊的有你没帮家长人他你了不话的都让这些那做用就考虑见到嘛人家小姐上你的也被二班工人就用被都嘛要拉倒我这玩红个要用我的嘛他们要用嘛都个人现在要用我的工资生计划要用这样子的对玩没有要用家那啥呢都是要用我不也他们要用个不用我要用我来印度要用他妈的家감som yam yom serna soldier yese jola toje yam sazuje de da to ni jena yaza saru jabje dorje choba turuje randa sonya na zonzen go ye go ma dong jin ye jin go mren ko yo de se dang zhe ba ka do je da ni shone sabda da se ja dong ge je we zo zong go yong zo zo bar je zo we do ga ni ma den sa ma zo ga bu ro wa de do ye do ga ni ma den sa je do je ne de sang de wa hong lang ga je ko ne na ra ra je wo de ma da do ga hong so je jawa tam je wang go sen je la ba ye ma da do yo zhe be je hong so an ha mam la mam ba da ra do go zo yi sam ba jin da jo hong ji min na da ji long ni ne ju je ba chen ba ba go dong ba do ji jun ko da je ba yang姐姐眼里个年的这些说是把都去婆婆都把老我当个说是一些作家现在讲到但是嘛什么的嘛当个老爷爷个说一些作家或者些说啥红吧红被什么呀什么呀对着嘞红最终都把这话当俺就先把想法是都是些新不所见了这几个别上这路啊的不找的啥红你就是那上个边就把那个就把那忙人家有这把让送就把那让送这把老人就把不你们让他没把就是说没啥干那边对吧老跟那边的小到这的啥意思红十几了东家没见到你梦看见上面那就金山俺就到马来街的不马边上阿门达那马来达卡也红都没下也让一人的都叫他个叫做巴郎州，现在这边风波接班，都是门口的接班不红啊红巴的金，都是接周围家金，那当考虑见的用，他是搞了这边周街。因来下位周末就这把来浪啊呗，查到做啥手计划打给我进，结果所以就我干嘛也手呗，人家不送去你，在家当个计划老做的，不送嘛下去当金错。他们今从国大街了，上次都把这几都都当地老板，就找不着人，都把做红，把今都以前的生活节，我老觉得弄的超干这找东哈节，那样都找，都当年的嘛着把的着。那个都从汉人的街把了，我说就这边早上来也，都干年的过了，各种都结行了，他就。onda var hong thing so number cha pa ba da song rang ne so pa mar che ba ta yang jawa tam je tu ji sing lam ne ba tam je dor je pa ba la so ke che ra ba da me ba se se song ba la me ba da li che je la da ya ye ka ne je la yang yo ter gong kha se wa ta wa na da chin kon nam je nga da pong wa chang che ba ta da war me de om be za ka la ya so ben ga ne ba hong be nga theng le o zor da nga theng ji ban tri ya yong shi tri ya yar yum yar ju yom je ko lo ye pa won da ke pa de me ba nga je ra da do ba ju ko yom ji sa wa ni yap ji dor ji sho rang ke sa ne nga zane le nga da do nga theng to ka theng be par che ma che de gom chen me za ka la ya za hong ba hong ka dang ka yin ben za ye ka dang ka yin za yin ben za ye an ze de abaran ze de mara sen na ta mar ta na ye sarwan ben ga ne ba hong be par chen por la zo ye sa na sa wen ju wan bro ko song to yung de le do ba min ga do nya ja ja do je se gong tu je gen ja la zo na ra yi hong long de den hong a long ju zo za wa nu ju ko lo long de大金人啊，一送去，都送你去啥吧？就做养杂金崩我你们这都说啊，几个疙瘩人家让家这些呢啊，弄个让我上岸的小红，这个那种的这些呢红，他们都去年轻人的小，让你把这钱包稍微都个红一来送为我这些普通他们靠着几把手那紧张。把这咱们了就老婆别嘛都那个经常不什么这些现在的小那当年啥的什么也跟。ye ma sein bar ma so bar je nya dang bar je pho nya ta min khor dang je tam se wang ne de je so me za ka la Mohangataya Mama Shir Karma Karaya Sapara Varam Benza Samaya Sam Benza Pipe Dipe Alogan and the Chadara Sai So Maha Benza Mardakai Maradakai Om Benza Kulakulaya Mohangataya Sapara Vara Shidam Karma Karaya Sapara Vara Edamalenda Kakakai Kaya Person Tamji Junin Koda Chibanam Chubataman de Jila Sajin de Baso Madu Gendenje Jarsai John Jidin Jubas Simji Pende Bernard Jubanam Don Rons and Hanjan and Teledo Dawata Never Gate on Parivar Tamsen de Manam Sana Savangarchi Shavadan Tijim Belezotan Pajin Jevada. Pajin Jevada Chotamon Malaban to Bantalenzo, Home Barjin, Randon Galaya, Ganizomada Zajin, Shona Shona Danisadama, Ginima Zaponia Jek, Amji, the Trujin Judge, Tommy Tazan Tenleda, Tamiko Jela, to Gorwell and Amdo Paranzo, Sarwanda, Yom Yodaya Home, Pezo, Yorobojin, Judon, Damatun, Nimbo Sozena, Neda Pemala Neb, Hong Ting number what Dele Ryan comes on the Madang and Bosik Trio Ma. Om Mam Om Ma So Lam Om Pam Hong Tam Ringa Yang Dan Se Chen Bu Ran Yin De Yun Romo Jian Jia Waran Jo Ong A Hong Na Se Bu Bu Ba Da Wang Dan Ge Zo Ze Yi Do Yi So Yi Do Xin Jia Da Sa Ma De Ba Da Ge La Yin Ge Zo Ong A Hong Sen Na Nu Ji Sao Yong Go Be Long Jun Gan Na Za Da Sen La Ba Par Jin Yang Yong Ko Da Jie Ba La Cho Jie Yang Yong Por Song Jie Lam Bo Tu Dan Yin Se Gan Se Yi Se So Ma Gan Na Za Da Bun Za Ho Ho Hong Gan Ga Ba Tu Dan Gan Na Wa Yap Je Tu Dan Toma Yong Je Tu Dan Gan Ni Mi Ro Ba Ji Mi Gan Hong Dan Yi Yin Ni Ra Zong Ri Za Rizangan Trimi Toran Yan Cha Ran Saratro Nansem Zimba Shona Yen Sha Nansan Zimba Shona Yen Sa Om Beza Galgala Dabin is it Hong Pa Hong Dam Se Jim Be de la Ba Tuba Jim de la Ba San Jim de la Ba Shona Mag de la Ba Den Jim de la Ba Sada Jim de la Chuji Tam Se de la Ba San Jim de la Ba San Jung Jo de Sim Ji Jen to Som Jar Dong So Be Ren Zeng Dai Chan Nam La Ne Nu Jen Do Be Da Da Ge De Da Par De Ju Be Song Ro Ro Jen Se Wan Na To Ji Be Seng La Ji Yo Sang Jen De Ko Lang Ju Ser Jen Da Wa Da Lenga ye dor de chen ne ja dong han nyam so nyawan so bela kala ya dab ge dam se mara ya hong be hong par chin kor che shar se che dab ge dab pang pang de par chin ya yong tro ja dang kor so de be ja de dan dan no zen kor che na de chen sa ya me par an so om ben za ya ja tro da ka 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 yong ben za amar da za ya hong za da za cha ya hong be hong dam be je la so na jo par so je Pama Dora Lama Doma de Jila Gangawan Senjon Ozera Malay Bezeta Kahe Hong Yin Yen Yen Golo Golo Neko Dojon and Corjena Jewana Lenzo Je Hong Jo Jidin de Dama de Beca is Oma Tam Sejin Henry Tam Sejigolo Tomalo Lenzo Hong Nasa Sipin Jidin and Nebetin John Den de So Jimbe Tolman de Jila Jolan and Robert Yomon Judo Chin Sorang Marik Kiji Pachana Ranzong Ridong Rabo Yizo Banza Mebarni On A Hong Tambaya Ni Sonam de Dam Jezebani Donani Bedana Vazade Jigana Jabalan Duba Yezeban Solan Dua Dua Yusan Jusum Jero Boji Majibana Jibanya Bame Bayan Koni Konda Bevar Show. Okay, so let's finish the long transmission. Okay, so what time is it now? Oh, time is finished. Okay, so this Vajrakilaya sadhana, Rina Limbas treasure. So Vajrakilaya is wrath for deity Vajrasava, right? Is correct? Yes, I think so. Vajrasava. Vajrasava wrath for deity is Vajrakilaya. So Vajrasava is we know, purification Buddha. All enlightened beings, purification, aspiration or quality arise from is called Vajrasava. And purification form is Vajrasava. Then what we have to purify? We have to purify negative karma. So negative karma purified, right? Gone, subdued, or then that form is called Vajrakilaya again. And so there's different aspects. I think we can say different aspects because Vajrasava is the quality of purification aspects, and Vajrakilaya is subduing or purify negative karma aspect form is Vajrakilaya. So the main purpose is the same. So which aspect you choose, right? And like you think about, I want to purify my negative karma. I mean, we think purify karma, and the chant Vajra Sava mantra is create Vajra Sava. And you say, I wanted to remove these negative things. So you really feel the negative energy is so strong. Yeah. So you use something for very powerfully. So instruction or practice. So you remove the negative energy. That's called Vajrakilaya practice. And we have our body. We have like these two energies, like like positive energy, negative energy. These two energies within 24 hours always there. So then like negative energy sometimes, like I think, dominated by ignorance. We have really don't want to do anything good things. So that time is like dominate, like negative, ignoring energy. Sometimes like fear is more easily arise, anger, right? Hatred. So unhappy, sad, feeling strong. So that is anger, negative is strong, arising. So the negative anger is dominant. And sometimes like we have attachment, negative energy is dominant, like your feeling is like more desire, more attached. So then that is a negative. Yeah. Another hand, positive. So you want, do some good things, and love is arising your mind, or compassion is arising. Your mind is peacefully, joy, like wanted to do some good things, and you have a more sharp, mind clear. When you practice, like you feel, this enlightening energy, quality or blessings. So wisdom dominating, right? Quality. So this positive energy, negative energy. So positive is like enlightening quality actually. Negative is like samsara, afflictive emotional energy. This two is within our body all the time. So then when you have fears, this positive energies, you happy, you want to do something, good things. So that is a peaceful deity you're creating. You creating yourself as a peaceful deity. When you have these negative energies, if you don't apply any antidote for that, then negative energy take us samsara, would bring more down to lower realms. So you apply that, you feel that energy, you apply something for remove that, and then that is called you create like wrath for deity energy. You create wrath for deity energy, and your yard is very comfort, and maybe no any like snakes, no any poisons there, beautiful flowers, good, like this weather, everything. You want to be in the yard, enjoy. So that's the same, it's like peaceful, right? And your yard has snakes and poisons, so you try to get rid of this. So that's called wrathful. Do you understand? So that's why, when we have negative, this strong energy comes. So whatever you apply is called wrathful deity we're creating. So wrathful deity, of course, like we say Vajrakilaya form is like we explain, right? But when you have anger, you use something like subdue your anger. That moment you are Vajrakilaya. Okay, it's called wrathful deity. you have a strong desire or ignorance, jealousy, pride, whatever going on, these negative things within your mind, you apply whatever removing that negativity. That is called, wrathful. That moment we are wrathful. Okay, so that's time we create wrathful deities. That's we have to understand. Otherwise, you follow these form bodies. And then sometimes people lost connections, and then they think, why so many like this? I don't need, right? And so sometimes then you don't want to use this like deity's form. So this deity's form is energy with the power. The point is enlightened beings go through that, right? Do you understand? Like example, like someone already subdued afflictive emotions. So that energy is already arise like form like this. So you use that energy, like you have support. So your support is your power energy cannot remove your negative energy, but you use the support that helps remove negative energy. If your yard have snake, you cannot use your hand. Snake can maybe bug you because you get poison. So you need some tools, support. Then use that, like someone who already take out the snakes, like what they create something, or to capture the snake and take out. So someone already done that, they create something, you need that support, right? Same, we using this deity form is like we using support. Without the support, see, so snake bug you, then you get poison. So we're suffering. So same, if we don't apply this deity's, support, you do yourself. So negative emotion get, like hurt you or control you again. You cannot go run over the negative emotions. So then negative emotion run over you, so you lose more your practice or quality, or I don't know how to say, like your power is gone. So then that's why we need this the practice Yidam deity, okay? So that's why we need these two things going on. Thank you. So now we finish there today morning session. So Vajrakilaya practice we have afternoon, and some of course in Asia countries too late, you cannot join. So you can join tomorrow morning teaching and stage your meditation Vajrakilaya. I share a little bit. Vajrakilaya, this they say without transmission you can practice, but transmission is actually Mahamudra Dzogchen, because this teaching is a Dzogchen Mahamudra, and the someone who has already teachings about the Dzogchen Mahamudra, then when you go to these practices, you already have permissions. Same like this generation stage, Dzogchen teaching compound together is called this deity sadhana. Thank you. So now we go to the dedication. Please share the screen. And also chant. I don't have the text here. And I'm going to mute here, and can you chant there from there?
I can't hear anything. I don't. There's no sound. There's still no sound. We aren't hearing anything. Your sound is not coming through. Your chanting is not coming through. Unfortunately, Kempo, none of the dedication came through.
Thank you.
Thank you,
I'm
everyone.
sorry, you probably didn't have any sound for the prayers, but thank you. Thank you.
None.
All right, we'll be returning at 1:30 on Zoom. Is that correct, Kempo, for the practices?
Yes.
Okay, we'll see you guys on Zoom at 1:30.
1 hour and a half.
Take an hour and a half break. Okay. Bye-bye, everybody.